Hi, Dr. Paul Haider here. You know, we have a couple different powers in our life, and one of them is about what I'm going to talk about today. And it's pretty amazing. Yeah, I got a call from a friend last night, and his wife was sick, and recommended, asked me what I recommended to do. And he had already taken her blood sugar, and it was sky high. And he asked me, what herb can I give her? And I recommended an herb. And so now she has to make some decisions. Her husband had already gone to my diet, the whole foods plant-based diet, and he used to have diabetes, and now it disappeared. So now he's eating a very healthy diet, and he has become very healthy, and he used to be very heavy. Now he's slimmed down and looks great, and uh, he's really doing great. In fact, he had prostate cancer, and it disappeared also. And so, great things are happening. But his wife has really kind of resisted the whole process of eating, a plant-based diet. I think she knows it's a really healthy thing, but yeah, there is this resistance there. I've done this, for 50 years, 60 years, uh, and so there's a process of making a change. And we have to choose. We have to choose at this point. My glucose is sky high. What do I do? I can decide to go on medication. Go metformin or some oral medication, or I can get on insulin, or I can change my diet. And it's really up to us. We have to make those kind of decisions. And my husband is a living example of exactly what can happen if we decide to make a big change and stick to it. It is I wouldn't say difficult when we have people in our lives that are really not on the same program, but they're kind of resistant, you know. So right now she has to make a big choice. And we all have choices, and choices are one of the most important and the most powerful things that we have in our lives. To choose, could it be that, a person says, oh, I've been telling lies and little white lies all my life, and now, at this point in my life, I decided not to tell any lies at all. I was just going to be truthful. Or I've been mean and angry towards other people and all my life, and now I'm going to be loving and kind. Yeah, or I've been a bigot and racist all my life, and now I'm choosing to love people no matter who they are and what they look like. I can see that there is God inside of all of them, and so we have to, at a certain point, make some decisions, make some choices, make some break through some challenges in our life, and it's powerful, even if we're actually looking to change our vocation. And sometimes we have to look at it, who we are deep down inside, and decide, am I going to keep moving in that direction, even though there's resistance for me to move in that direction. And sometimes we say yes, I am, and I keep moving in that direction no matter what. And we forward through the resistance, just like wading upstream. And we have that power inside to move forward. That reminds me of the story of three women who were amazing mathematicians and could calculate amazing amounts of equations and things like that. And also, one of them was a wonderful uh, uh, chemist, and another one was also worked with mechanical instruments and that type of thing, and another one actually worked with computers and was an amazing computer whiz. And they were all black, and they were working on the space program. And so they had separate rooms for the black people to work in, and this one lady actually ended up becoming so amazing at her calculations that they would bring her calculation forth to the front of the room, and they would talk about them. And but she didn't have a bathroom in the building. She had to walk 5 buildings down to find a black bathroom that she could go to. And sometimes, that was a long ways. It took about 40 minutes, 20 minutes each way. And supervisor says, "What are you doing? It's taking you 40 minutes each time when you get up." And he said, "There's no bathroom for me in this building." And she got very upset. And finally, the supervisor tore down the black bathroom sign that says "for blacks only," and he said, "There is no color in here, and we're all the same." And she went on to be a leading mathematician for the space program. Another one went on to be a supervisor for the computer program for the space program. And so it's really an interesting process. Sometimes we have to resist the flow of the water, and we keep forwarding forward and making headway. And I think that's important. We see this happening again. Sometimes we're moving upstream and the water's rushing towards us. Sometimes we take a couple of steps and then we slip back. Have you ever been walking? In my younger days, I used to do fishing in streams, and sometimes the actual bottom of the stream would give away and you would move back a little bit, and so you have to take a couple more steps forward. And sometimes we do that, and we're kind of in that process right now. But it's all about choices. Our choices that we decide to choose and make a difference in our lives. And sometimes we have an epiphany. We have a great aha moment that wakes us up. In fact, one of the supervisors for the girl that was, lady that was the great mathematician at NASA, which was black, he was a little bit racist himself. And then finally his head of the department said, "You know what? Your job is to bring out genius." And then he started bringing this lady, this wonderful mathematician, bringing her coffee and putting her name on all the papers, and they became close friends after that. But sometimes it takes an aha moment. Sometimes that happens because other people chime in. Or sometimes it happens because of some situation or process that we go through that wakes us up from who we are. And it's a change of who we are deep down inside. Nobody can change us for us. Nobody can actually wake us up. When somebody says something, we take it in, and from there we decide to make a change inside or not. And so otherwise it's kind of like the dog. You're talking to your dog, and the dog hears blah, 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 It doesn't really sink in at all. But we have a choice now in this day and age to make a huge difference. Here in Puerto Rico with the Category 5 hurricane, I am amazed at the amount of people. There's a few that are angry, but there's a lot of people who are actually taking it all in stride and knowing that they will get through this no matter what. And it takes a change inside themselves in their hearts and know that they're going to be strong and they're going to get through this. And when we had other hurricanes in the past, we have survived and moved on, and we will do this one again also. It's been difficult, to say the least, but it makes people stronger. It makes people it uplifts people because we get through this, and it's not like, I want to rewind the whole tape and say I want to do it one more time. I've actually said that to a few people and said, I don't think so. The morning after the hurricane came and I went out, boy, it looked like a bomb had gone off. It really did. What you see in like Time magazine and in the newsreels and things like that, it was real, exactly that way. It was overwhelming. There's no doubt about it. But things now, the trees are starting to bloom and the leaves are coming out. You know, nature is resistant. There is no doubt about it. It's going to march forward no matter what. You know, we have a big, huge tree a block down the road, and that thing held firm the whole time and was able to withstand the vigors of 200 plus miles an hour wind. And then every single leaf came off that tree. And then when it was about 3 days, 4 days later, maybe a week, leaves sprouted. I mean, it was just amazing because the leaves, you ever seen leaves when they first come out, they're a light green and they're kind of like lime green and it was like iridescent. It was just beautiful. And it was just saying, it was a statement in itself that we will overcome. And it was like, wow, look at that. And then you see the palm trees. A lot of them just lost all their fronds, totally gone. They're just a stick sticking up, you know, that's it. And now the palm fronds are coming back out, and it's making another statement that we shall overcome. And the grass is coming back. A lot of the grass, you know, died in the process also. Almost all plants, unless they were, like in our yard, we have big walls on 3 sides, so it was kind of protected. Other than that, a lot of vegetation, almost all vegetation just turned brown. And so it was pretty amazing. And all of a sudden you see green coming back. And we shall overcome. It's not to say that changing our mind and doing something different is not a good idea also. Sometimes that is the best idea. Sometimes we have to say, you know what? I'm not moving in this direction anymore. It's not what I want to do anymore. I have changed my mind. I want to do something else. I know a young man who was inspired by a book and to become a writer. And he wanted to take off and go to Berkeley and study literature and that type of thing. And he didn't get in. He didn't get accepted. So he finally decided, you know what inspired me to write some of my stories is what I have here at home. And so he ended up staying at home, going to a small junior college, and then he went off to go to Berkeley after that. And he became a very well-known writer. And so sometimes there are different paths we have to take. We have to make choices on our way. Sometimes we make a little detour here and there, you know. Sometimes we go straight to where we need to go. Sometimes we ford the river, and sometimes we move back with the river and we go a different route. But we have to make those choices. And that's our second most important power that we have that's given to us by God. We have the first one, which is love. And love is amazing. The most powerful force there is on the planet and in the universe, in fact. And also the power of choice. You know, we can choose to go up in space. We can choose to stay on this planet. We can choose to heal the environment. We can choose not to heal the environment. We can choose to, you know, go to become a great writer. We can choose to become a, you know, a spiritual teacher. We can choose to become a geologist. Whatever we want to do, it's the power of choice that we have deep down inside of us. And to stay stuck, to stay static is not a great thing. To hesitate is not a great thing. You know, great spiritual people never were people who would hesitate in any way, shape, or form. Gandhi was not one to hesitate. He would just say, this is what we need to do. And a lot of other people too, you know, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, all these people, they knew exactly what they needed to do. And so we need to have what we need to know what we have in our mind and really in our heart, what we need to fulfill our dream. And when we have that dream cemented in our brain and we know who we are and in what direction we're headed, nothing can stop us. So remember, you have your power of choice. And it is the greatest thing that could ever come along. Together with love, you have a power that can move mountains, the power of choice and the power of love. And I hope you use those two to change your life in powerful ways. I love you. I hope you subscribe, and if you care to make a donation, down below, click on Show More, and there's a couple links there, and you can make a donation. We're still taking food out to people who are hungry. Lots of them here on the island. And my consultations are always free, whether it be an herbal consultation or whether it be a spiritual consultation. So feel free to get a hold of me. My phone number and email address is down there. My email is usually the best way, especially for herbal, because sometimes the info is very long and can't tell you all of it on the phone. So to be able to retain it all and be able to look back on it, it's best to email me. But if you're doing a spiritual consult, then feel free to call me anytime. And remember, I go to bed early. I go to bed before the chickens, and I'm on Eastern Standard Time. May you have a wonderful day. Again, I love you.